If you're leading a small organization or a growing team, this conversation may sound familiar. Many organizations believe they have a capacity problem. They feeling busy, stretched, it's not enough time, it's not enough people, it's not enough support. It's like, I know I have the capability to do this, but I don't have the capacity to do it. And when I'm making progress, it's in waves. It's not just consistent progress, consistent moving forward. And so leaders, we get to pushing harder, doing more, trying to stay motivated, trying to keep our team motivated, figuring out how we can get more team members, figuring out how we can get more resources. But most organizations, motivation will not help. And in fact, most of the time, the problem is not with capacity. What the actual struggle is focus. And I don't mean focus as a mindset, but as an operational practice. And more specifically, that there is nowhere for the focus to live. I work with organizations that care deeply about people, purpose, and doing their work well. The mission is clear, heart is right, but behind the scenes, focus keeps slipping. Not because leaders don't care, but because focus has not been built into how the work actually operates. Today, I want to talk about focus as an operational practice, not a mindset. Focus as an operational practice. Focus is not about doing more. Focus is about deciding what matters. Operationally, focus means this. Everything the organization does is aligned with what keeps it healthy, effective, and moving forward. That requires leaders to surrender personal preference in favor of organizational progress. Sometimes the right decision is not going to be enjoyable. The right decision is not really what you might want to naturally do. And sometimes it is not the most visible one. But focus always asks this question. Does this support our mission, the people we serve, and the future of the organization? And if it doesn't, it may be activity, but it is not operational focus. And this is where I have found that many organizations struggle. So focus lives in the leader's head or a particular person's head, but is not in the organization itself. So work and effectiveness depends on memory, on who is available, on who remembers how things was done the last time. And this is when you start to see inconsistent processes, repeated questions, different outcomes for the same work. And so from the outside, the organization looks busy, they're doing things, they're getting work done, but internally it's unstable. And also client facing, one client may get this type of service, but then another client is getting a different type of service because internally it's inconsistent. And so leaders think that, hey, well, I need more staffing or better staffing, or we need more time, we need to adjust this, adjust that. But I have found that a lot of the time, the real issue is clarity. And that's the part that can get missed as it relates to focus. So it can't live in your head. Focus cannot live in your head. It has to live somewhere the organization can access it. And that's what procedures are. documented processes are simply focus written down. The answer, and not only focus written down, but clarity. It's expressed clarity when done correctly. And so when you're thinking about your documented procedures, they're going to answer questions like, what matters here? What happens first? What does done well look like? What are the expectations? And when work is documented, people don't have to guess. They don't have to be interrupted. They don't have to rely on someone remembering. And that is how focus is protected over time. So let's make this practical. Think about a recipe. If you cook from memory, the meal might turn out well one time, and then it may not be the same way the next time. It may be okay. And it may be, ooh, I messed that up real bad. But if you have the recipe written down, you're more likely to get quality that is consistently good, is repeatable. And so the same is true in organizations. Procedures help us focus. It's not about, control. It's truly about clarity and consistency. It's truly about making sure that no matter who's there, no matter who's not there, I know how to focus. I know what we are focusing on, and I know how to get things done so that it's done well consistently. And so I want you to take a moment and consider this. What is one process in your organization that will fall apart if the right person was not available? Now, don't answer out loud now if you're around folks now, but just notice what comes to mind first. See, as organizational leaders, most of the time, we don't have a willpower issue. We don't have a motivation issue. We don't have a capacity issue. Most of the time, focus is not there and is not anchored. And when only one person knows or a couple of people know, it can slip. It can be inconsistent. But when the focus, when I clarify what to focus on, and not only do I clarify, but I write it down, then the work is sustainable. It's consistent. I'm clear about it holding on, and no matter what, it can continue. It can get better. So it's not something that you feel. Operational focus is not what you feel. It's something that you build. And you build it by deciding what matters most and giving that decision a place to live. So if your organization feels busy but unstable, this is not the time to do more. Not the time to do more. It's the time to decide more clearly. And when focus is clear, there is less friction in the day-to-day work. So leader to leader, I want you to pause and decide what is most important and work toward clarifying why that's important. What do I need to do to make sure this important work gets done? You got this. So get started, keep going, and finish. Take care.